Hey everyone, I have a confession to make. My whole life I've been part of a group of people who, really within the last 10 years or so, have really grown up from a society of misfits and loners to one of pop culture's most powerful phenomenons. I'm talking, of course, about being a nerd. Now, to me, being a nerd has been something my whole life. Video games, comics, TV, movies, these things help shape me and make me into who I am today. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, what exactly is a nerd? I think I know what it is, but really, who is a nerd? And what do they like? Now, to start off, the term nerd itself actually comes from a 1950 book from Dr. Seuss called If I Ran the Zoo. And while to him the word nerd was nothing more than a nonsensical word that we've seen before in his work, it's really become the defining feature of someone who is considered to be overweight or socially awkward or smart, and they have a love of things that are non-standard. So less sports, more orcs, as I always like to say. And you might also think to yourself, well, that just sounds like a geek. Isn't it the same thing? It is, but the term geek actually comes from an ancient Greek word meaning fool, and it's really risen up to its point today where it's almost become synonymous with nerd. But what do these people like? Comic books. To really talk about the history of comic books itself would be too long in the time that I have. But really starting in 1938 with the invention of Superman and Batman in Action Comics and Detective Comics, respectively, by DC's predecessor, and Captain America and the Human Torch in Marvel's predecessor, things have just evolved from there. Nowadays, we have superheroes for almost anybody. Superheroes that are gay, superheroes that are trans, black, white, Asian. We can find a little bit of ourselves in these people and the stories that they tell. And they've become heroes to me. My biggest hero would be Spider Man. After that, it would be Green Arrow. Video games also make up a large part of the nerd culture. And again, talking at length about the history of video games itself would be almost incredible. But starting in the 1970s with Pong, and then moving into the 80s with arcades, Donkey Kongs, Super Mario Brothers, and moving into forward into today with games like Quake, Doom, which revitalized, actually created the first-person shooter genre, and things like World of Warcraft, an MMORPG, a game where I can be in America but meet people from China, and we can be friends and talk about the things that we like, which brings us to the internet, which has really given us a connected view of the world. Now, for the future, I think that virtual reality will be something that will really define us and really allow us to become the people that we've always dreamed about. So, hopefully, I've given you a little bit of a brief of who a nerd is and what they like. And you can see that we're just people too, just people